You are welcome to the last unit of this model, Unit 6. In this unit, we are going to deal with one of the indirect taxes collected in this country. This is the value added tax. Ghana's government successfully introduced value added tax, VAT for short, in 1998. But this success followed a failed attempt in 1995 when the country's first VAT was repealed after just 3.5 months. We had the passage of the VAT Act 1998 Act 546 and the VAT Regulations 1998 Legislative Instrument 1646. This was applied until 2013. Now the current act is Value Added Tax Act 2013 Act 870. And that is what we'll use for this unit. In this session, we are going to look at some distinguishing characteristics of value added tax. By the end of the session, you should be able to define VAT and state the distinguishing characteristics of VAT. Before we attempt to define VAT, let us try to explain the meaning of value added. Value added simply means the addition made by the firm through its own activity to the value of inputs procured from other firms to turn out the output. In production, there is a need to procure inputs from other firms, pass the inputs through a process and turn out outputs, which are sold for higher prices than the input. In passing the inputs through a process, some value is added to the input to turn out the output. So value added can also be defined as the difference between the value of sales and the value of input that went into the product sold. From this explanation, how then do we define value added tax? In its simplest term, it can be defined as the taxation of the value added to the input to turn out output. This means that it is only the value added that is taxed. It can also be defined as a tax applied to the cost and profit which a firm incurs in producing goods and services. VAT is included in final price of the output and it is the consumer who pays the VAT. Now let us look at the unique features of VAT. First, it is a general tax on consumption expenditure. This means that it is only when you buy such product or you engage in that service that you pay VAT. It is taxed on the final consumer. This means that the burden is borne by the final consumer. Value added tax is a multi-stage tax collected in little bits at the various stages in the production distribution chain. We'll look at this feature when we solve an example. At each stage of the production distribution chain, value added tax is effectively levied on the value added created and not the full value of the product. Another feature is that VAT, though a consumption tax, is collected by registered businesses that act as agents of the Value Added Tax Authority at all the points in the production distribution chain. So this brings us to the end of today's lesson. In today's lesson, we looked at some characteristics of VAT. We also tried to define value added and value added VAT. Hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you.